let's talk about Bitcoin as a strategic national reserve. And this has been a topic that has been talked about at Davos during the World Economic Forum. It's been talked about on the news. But let's understand why this is so important. Is it important for the United States to have Bitcoin as a strategic national reserve? No, it is not. Is it important for developing countries to have Bitcoin as a strategic national reserve? Absolutely. And the reason why I say no for the United States and no and yes for developing countries is because the world reserve currency is the United States dollar. And that means that the United States dollar has its hand in basically all matters of trade all over the world. You want to buy oil, there's a market for it in dollars. You want to buy diamonds, there's a market for it in dollars. You can buy it with dollars. Let me say it like that. You can buy oil with dollars. You want to buy energy. You want to buy plutonium. You want to buy household goods. You want to buy consumer goods. You want to buy grain and seed. You can buy it with dollars. However, the local currency of, let's say, Ghana cedis, the only place who will accept Ghana cedis are countries that may do trade with Ghana. But you know what? We've seen that Bitcoin is a global currency as well. The difference between the US dollar and any other national currency is that Bitcoin was not created by a nation state. It was created by a community of people all over the world who are using the internet. The reason why that's important is because for Bitcoin, if you as a country hold large amounts of Bitcoin, you can now do trade with other countries outside of the United States dollar. Or let's say not even countries. If you are a large business and you need to do business with another country, you can go to your country. You can, let's say you're a Ghanaian oil magnet, right? You're a Ghanaian oil tycoon and you want to sell your oil on the international market, but you don't want to utilize US dollars. The reason why you don't want to utilize US dollars is because US dollars and US banks come with US surveillance. They come with Patriot Act exceptions and Homeland Security exceptions that allow your money to be utilized as a surveillance tool, that requires your banks to meet certain standards and things of the sort. And which means also that there's certain places and countries that you can't do business with. But you're not an American. However, the way that they keep you locked in is with US dollars. So let's say you want to operate outside of that. You use Bitcoin. So what do? Your country, Ghana, has a Bitcoin national reserve that they utilize to facilitate large transactions for their businesses with other countries. So you're a Ghanaian oil tycoon and you want to do business with China. You want to do business with China. Well, does China accept the Ghanaian cedi? No. Do you as Ghana have Chinese renminbi? No. So how would you facilitate trade? We facilitate trade utilizing Bitcoin. And that means that the Ghanaian government would have to hold Bitcoin, and the Chinese government would also have to hold Bitcoin. So that's one. Instead of me having to hold Chinese renminbi and then do business that way, we could do business in our own countries with our own currencies. But anytime that we want to do something internationally, we utilize Bitcoin. And the importance of that is if more countries utilize Bitcoin as a strategic national reserve, the price of Bitcoin will stabilize. Why will it stabilize? Because now you have large institutions that are controlling the volume and flow of Bitcoin. And now that becomes more stable than even some of the currencies, the individual national currencies that are being used. So what I will say is that when we start seeing a stabilization in Bitcoin prices, it is because nation states are purchasing it. Right now, we have large institutions that are purchasing it from these mining pools and things of the sort. So whenever there's these large price fluctuations, the institutions are either dumping or picking up on it. But what happens when nation states that have trillions of dollars in their GDP per year start picking up Bitcoin? The price rises, but the price rises at a particular rate that starts to level out, and there's a lot more price stability in Bitcoin. So I wrote a white paper back in 2019 about crypto economics, building blocks for developing nations, and about how you as a country utilize Bitcoin and or some of your national resources and peg your national resources to the price of Bitcoin, or peg a piece of it to the price of Bitcoin. And you create and then that way you also can create your own currency based upon what your particular natural resources. Food for thought.